For Nerlene Manasseh, nothing's more important than family, faith, and community. Nerlene and her family left Haiti when she was just 8 years old to come to America in search of a better life. They settled into the tight-knit Haitian community of Lake Worth, Florida. For 10 years, Nerlene saved every penny she could until she had a $25,000 down payment for a house big enough for her husband and their 6 children. But Nerlene's American dream turned into a nightmare the day she overheard her cousin talking about how much money he made with a new investment.
My cousin invested $10,000. Within 3 months, he ended up with $40,000.
All through a company called Creative Capital Consortium, founded by a fellow Haitian, George Theodule. Nerlene was sure this would be a home run. She went to one of Theodule's so-called investment club meetings to see for herself. Feeling very confident, she invested her entire $25,000 nest egg.
Mr. Theodule is the mastermind behind all the investment club. The money was taken from different clubs all over the region of Florida and funneled right back to CCC.
Rumors were flying through the Haitian community that Theodule's nearly 100 investment clubs were all making big money. He had the cars, the big house, and he seemed to have a never-ending supply of cash. Theodule was also a self-proclaimed pastor.
The Haitian community in general tends to be quite religious, and George Theodule sold himself as a quote-unquote man of God.
If somebody come to you and tell you that he's a pastor, you won't think there's any red flags. The only thing you're going to see is green lights to go.
As a pastor, Theodule knew the one place he could reach people was in the house of God. He visited many local churches where he preached the glory of his investment strategy.
He claimed that he was going to make 10,000 Haitian millionaires, that we can go back to our third world country and be able to help our community there.
More than 1,000 investors, mostly Haitian Americans, gave at least part of their life savings. Some only had $1,000, others had $50,000 or more. Theodule only took cash, but he made the promise that their money would double in just 90 days.
One of the red flags of a fraud would be if they ask you to pay cash. Never give cash for any investment opportunity.
Like most Ponzi schemes, at first, Nerlene did see double-digit gains on paper. She was pleased, but also a little skeptical. How was her money growing so fast in such a slow economy? So she made a phone call to find out.
Mr. Theodule replied to me saying that he could not tell me where he was putting this money because there's a lot of copycats out there that would steal his strategy.
It seemed this guy was so good that even people in his inner circle didn't suspect anything. Reggie Rosemay lived down the street from Theodule and often hung out at his house. Reggie was also under Theodule's spell. He invested $35,000, his family's entire savings.
George promised that he would give us our initial investment back. If anything didn't double, if we just want out of the investment club.
George often took a personal approach with investors and would stop at nothing to gain their trust.
Well, behind me is George's house, and this is where he would have one of his meetings going down as far as bringing investors to sign in with him to give him money. And it was probably like 20 to 35 people a day in and out of his house. He told all the investors that we were able to get our money back.
6 months later, Nerlene Manasseh decided to take all her money out of Creative Capital. But when she arrived at the headquarters, the doors were locked and the office vacant.
I was in a state of shock.
And desperate for answers, Nerlene took matters into her own hands. She contacted a local news station. That's when she discovered she wasn't alone. George Theodule is accused of stealing $23.4 million from more than 1,000 of his fellow Haitian Americans. For Reggie Rosemay, it's not just about the money, it's personal.
It wasn't just a business thing with me and George. It was like a friendship that I had with him, and it's very devastating.
Both Nerlene and Reggie are hoping to get at least some of their money back.
We came from a third world country, not believing that something like this could happen, not in America, a place of justice.